Gentlemen, Antonio here. Okay, so you have to kind of put up with the not the best sound, but what I've got to share with you is pretty exciting. So I'm here in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm looking out the window right here, and I can see the Georgia Dome over here. I'm at the Glen Hotel. Just finished up my men's style conference, and I can say without a doubt, an amazing conference. It blew me away to meet almost well over 100, about 150 people came out for it. Content creators, brands, and people that have been following, men that have been following my content, Aaron Marino's content, Raphael Schneider's content, Andy Snavely's content, Baron of the Effortless Gents content, Brock. I mean, so many amazing people came out for this. And I want to really stress, I call it a conference, but it was really a meetup of friends. Let me show you something really quick. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen with you guys. Let's see what we get. Yep, right there. And look at what people are saying. Claude, this weekend was very memorable. I'm grateful. I came to StylesCon not expecting anything more than having a good time. And you came out with newfound friends, new gents to look up for inspiration, and that elusive spark that put everything into perspective. Guys, and this is just, so Stephen, it was an easy decision traveling internationally just to be in a room. He came from, he came over from Italy, and he's in the Air Force, and he just felt that he needed to come out and meet with us. I can tell you, it was amazing to be able to spend time with him. And Lace is what he goes by. Emmanuel, big thanks to Antonio and Aaron for organizing the conference. I'm sure it took a lot of effort. It did, but it was well worth it. And just all this great stuff. Sean, it's not possible to thank Aaron and Antonio enough for making this event possible. The memories and friends made. That's key. Friends, memories, all of this stuff. Just all right. Let me see. We were screen sharing. I'm gonna. Oh, thought my speaker disappeared, or thought I saw my camera off. Sorry, guys. Thought. All right. So what else? Kyle, of the Distilled Man, he did an amazing presentation. And what he talked about, basically, he broke up Friday night. We had 3 solid days. Well, actually 2.5. Sunday was a little bit laid back. Kyle, Josh, and I had a great time. He brought his son out, who was a veteran out of the Coast Guard. Alberto came all the way from Brazil. And here's a guy, I talked to, who was one of my students in my style system, and it was just great. I just spent breakfast having time. Here's the deal: is that I made time, Aaron made time, everybody made time for each other, and we treated each other with respect. Raphael here is telling this great story of how he met a gentleman at the airport that led to something more, but talks about dressing sharp when you fly. People are just jumping in here. There's tons of, there were a lot of parties. AJ from the Art of Charm, Mike from Rib T, Raphael Schneider from the Gentleman's Gazette. Mike just informed that he had won a custom suit, but he didn't show up for it. Mark, because let's just say that Mike had a really good time on Saturday night. Mark came in and gave a great presentation on what's in the suits. You can see me and Aaron Marino hanging out. So yeah, a very good time. Now I'm going to really quick want to refresh this. I know some of you guys have questions, and I'll be checking into the newest first. What do we got? And let's see what we got here. Top, newest. Let's see if it sorts them. All right, so we've got Chris Peak. Antonio, through the goal of your style educational resources, has a strong focus on the classic and timeless male image. Can you think of any style advice from any of your previous articles or videos that you might change now? That's good. That's a good question. Really quick, let me go ahead and move back to, you guys can stop. So the question was, looking back on everything I've put out over the years, and it's been, I started in late 2007 putting out information. Would I change things? If I had to go back and change anything, I would try to be more careful in my language and be more tolerant of, I think sometimes people read my writing and it was a little bit very much like this is the one way. And one thing I've learned is there is no right way to style. One of the presenters I had here at StyleCon, my friend Ryan Megan, his style honestly is going to turn off many people. He's got tattoos. He wears, he wears jeans, and he mixes a formal with an informal. His idea of dressing up is not a sports jacket or a suit. It's actually just a regular, like just a casual fatigue jacket. But for him, the aim of his style is the step up from those around him. And in his sphere, he's a former BMX racer. He runs 51 Handsome Guy Secrets. You can go check out his page. He's big in the sales. He's got, I mean, it's really edgy. But here's the thing, is he's a nightlife guy. This guy who goes out to clubs, and I have a lot to learn from him. So if I had to change anything, I would try to change the wording of my content so it was very clear that I'm more open to other ideas. I think sometimes people read my stuff and they're turned off by it because they feel I'm saying that this is the only way that it is. And I do try to take a stance, but it is something I want to be very clear that, you know, I did not, when it comes down to it, I try to set an example. I try to inspire others, but there are so many different ways to the same place. And that's, you know, us becoming better men and being able to use style to send the message we want to send. Okay, so let me go ahead. Daniel, he's saying, Antonio, regards from Argentina. Awesome. I was just actually talking with a friend about moving to, southern Brazil. And that way I can fly right over to Buenos Aires. What's the name of we had one of the gentlemen come in from Brazil. So he was telling me all about his city. I've been looking at it. So one thing, I may move abroad with my family here in the next year or so. But please talk about face acne. It's a problem I've seen in a lot of people. Daniel, unfortunately, I'm not even going to try to act like I am an expert on this. Most of the acne information I have is a bit dated. I know things have changed in the last 15 years. What I would recommend is reaching out to a professional and not being afraid to educate yourself and to try a variety of things. One thing I've learned about doctors is that they see the world. So my wife being Ukrainian, we speak with doctors over there. We've got American doctors. When we travel, we've met with doctors in Croatia. We've met with doctors in Egypt. And I find that there, even in the medical field where you expect there to be one path, there isn't. So it is something that you're going to have to make an educated decision for yourself and not be afraid to try from, I would say more traditional, how can they say more, let's say gentle medicines that are more natural than those possibly bringing in actually drugs. But it should be something that, again, you work with a professional, but when it comes down to it, a man needs to educate himself and make his own decision. Sorry, I can't be specific there, but again, I'm not an expert in there and I'm not going to try to be. Antonio, first I want to congratulate you for the outstanding work that you do with your courses and YouTube videos. They're really informative and right to the point. Let me go ahead and show you guys so you can see who I'm talking about, because I had shown this at the beginning, but I want you guys to be able to see this. So first, I want to congratulate you with the outstanding work that you do with your courses and YouTube videos. They're really informative and right to the point, but you also deliver them with a casual, welcoming tone. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Now my question, as a tailor, you usually speak a lot about formal clothes. I would like to know about a few wardrobe options men can combine in order to be dressed informal yet sharp. Okay, well, that's actually, I'll use the simple, let me go ahead and step out of this. That, and we're going to stop screen sharing. I'm back here, so you should be able to see me. So let me just give you an idea, guys, of what I'm wearing today. I just went to the post office in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm wearing a light colored linen jacket with a simple pocket square over an outfit that honestly, here, I'll stand up, and yes, I do. You can see I could take this off. Take this jacket off. Now, the basis of my outfit is I went with a monochromatic look. I went with a very nice shirt that fits me well. It's made from a chambray fabric. It's got, notice the collar is definitely very wide. The fit on this shirt is very good. It's actually not a custom shirt. It's one that I found that fit me very well all throughout. The buttons, contrast, but the fit is really what sets it apart. Now, I'm pretty fortunate. I take care of my body and many things like that. So, you know, if you've got a good body, you definitely want to show it off. Now, these jeans are made by Enzo. You may remember I've talked about these. I got them over from the Men's Style Lab, and they actually help spruce up my casual wardrobe. I've also got the belt, but you can clearly tell the jeans and these are nice jeans. I only paid about $65 for them. Again, with their Men's Style Lab, I really like their boxes, very affordable. And here's, I'll show you guys my shoes. There you go. Look at it, double monk strap. You don't see that in many of my other videos. But so I kept the shoes, dark dress shoes, wore them with a nice pair of jeans that fit me well, a dress shirt, a dark shirt, monochromatic look. And from that, what's interesting is I could go out like this. So let me take a step back. As you can see, I could go out like this. Clothing's going to fit me relatively well. I could throw on this sports jacket and it's going to work well. I could also, you know, because I'm wearing a lot of blue and brown, I like to stick with jackets in the tan phase. If I wore a blue jacket, I think it would be a little bit overkill with the amount of blue, but I could also wear my brown sports jacket. You guys have seen this in many of my videos. Got a nice, who's this, tissue, their pocket square, and so I could throw this on. That's one of my favorite jackets, as you guys probably know. All right, look at this. So I consider it, I mean, this was casual enough for me walking through the streets of Atlanta, Georgia, in 70 to 80 degree weather. I feel usually very fine. But again, I can take this off if I simply want to go with this casual look. It gets a little bit warm. Now understand, if you've got a stomach, there isn't any shirt that is going to cover that. Jackets will help quite a bit. And the way you get through that in hot weather is you actually own jackets that have a little bit, I would say, are unlined, made from fabrics like linen or hop sack that are very breathable. You could also look to wear this chambray is very, very lightweight. Make sure you've got a number of shirts that are, I always lean towards lightweight shirts because I can always layer them up, versus heavier weight shirts have to be worn only in the winter or fall. Lightweight shirts I can wear year round, and I just layer them with a sweater or something actually during the colder months. So hopefully that helps. I would say just shoes definitely are a big deal. So this entire outfit would be a lot more casual if I was wearing casual, heavier shoes. The fact that I'm wearing my Paul Evans double monk strap, and I've talked about those in other videos, that right there really is the foundation for this outfit. And I think, you know, I feel great walking down. I had 2 compliments just walking to the post office. Both of them, well, one by a guy, I think it was just panhandling for money, but the other one was a woman. And you know, it's nice when you're treated like that. All right, so let me go ahead and I'm going to share my screen again. Okay, it is on right now. Oh, I cannot. Let me see if I can refresh this. I'll try to refresh it. Let's see what we got. All right, we got some people in here. I just want to, I'm on. And I want people to see. Reply. Just answered. In the video. And we'll copy that because I'm going to cheat. And thank you guys for coming out. I really, really do appreciate you showing up here. And don't worry, I don't have anything to sell you. I'm going to tell you guys about what programs I have. I mean, of course, if you always want to buy one of my programs, I've always got my personal image system, which is going to be launching really cool. It's got 5 parts. I'll talk about this near the end, but I just had a bit of time before my program. And gosh, I haven't even hit the hour yet. So all this is early, but I will talk about this at the end. If you're interested in the personal image system, I'm going to be launching this soon. I can tell you it's about less than 2 weeks. And if you're not on the early bird list, you're not, which you could get to, where's that link going to be? Yeah, right here. If you click there, you'll be able to go join the early bird list, but you'll be able to, let's just say that this is a $100 course that for people on my early bird list, I'm going to be giving a huge discount, at least 90%. And the reason being is I simply want to get your feedback and I want to see what you think of this course. But this will be something I'll sell for about $100. And yeah, you're going to get at least a 90% discount. Okay, so let's get back into this. All right, is there anything? Got a gift, including a pocket square, a pair of cufflinks. They made all the same fabric. That means the surface of the cufflinks is made by the same fabric of the pocket square and the tie. I know we cannot wear the same fabric pocket square and tie together. Can we wear cufflinks with the tie? You know, all of these rules about wearing things together. So let me go ahead and let me jump back. I want you guys to see me. Okay, so these rules about everything not, things not matching. The idea is not to match, but to complement each other. Now, it's not a hard and a fast rule. And if it's one of those things that there's enough separation or there's small accessories like cufflinks or, the pocket square, you can probably pull that off. Very few people are going to notice, especially if the pattern's not really outlandish. But it would be something that I try to avoid that. It's almost become a rule with some people. So some people who think they're in the know may feel that you're violating a rule. So I would just look to break it up. But you try not to match things exactly. They should complement each other. Hopefully that helps. Just replied. All right, let's go up to the top. Let's see what else people are asking. All right, Jeff. Hello, Antonio. I took the style system a year ago. I've been applying the lessons, but haven't been on the website for some time. What is the availability of past attendees? Okay, so here's the deal. Like, Jeff, you're going to have access to my personal image system. Now, this program is going to be more expensive than the style system. But here's the deal. You're going to get in for free because I do reward people who take a chance on me. I appreciate the way I look at it, guys, is how would I feel if somebody like developed a course and then improved it, made something else amazing, and then they charged me money. I mean, people do that all the time. Anytime they make upgrades to things, or you can't just go, when it comes to a car, when they come out with a new car a year later, you don't get it for free. But it wouldn't be cool. Wouldn't it be cool if that happened? So I feel I can do that with my electronic products because I'm not having to create a brand new car, but I do have to dedicate my time. It does cost me a bit, but to me that is well worth it because I'm able to really provide value to, to people that have believed in me, have trusted me, and I've been able to help. So stop. No, I don't want to stop broadcast really quick. We're going to share this. All right, so yeah. So if you have bought my style system in the past, you're going to get access to the personal image system. If you've bought a man's guide to style, I can't upgrade. The personal image system is going to be, let's just say this is going to retail at close to $1,000. And the reason being, it's got a lot of personal interaction. It's going to be a very exclusive course that's going to go on over a month. Just compare that with any class you would take at a junior college, or, and you're basically getting what I consider to be some of the best style and image experts and personal presentation experts in the world. But there will be opportunities, and I'm going to have other parts of it. So the blueprint is not going to be at that price. The formula is not going to be that price. The league, the community is not going to be at that price. The course is all of these combined, the formula, blueprint, and league. And then coaching is more like one-on-one if somebody wants that. So hopefully that answers your question, Jeff. And I'll let you know, just answered in the video. Look at that. Personal. Ivan, hey, cool name, Ivan Antonio. What do you think of traditional clothing in different cultures in terms of formality? Traditional clothing seems to tick some of the boxes in terms of being appropriate for the weather, amongst other things. It seems that the idea of formal wear is very Western. What about kimonos? Why about us? Okay, I've talked about why about us, Ivan, and one of the things I talk about when building a wardrobe, when improving your style, is the importance of understanding where you come from. And let me just give you guys, I'm going to use my blueprint as an example. And again, this is, I got what? Trying to make me log in. I got to log into my own system. Look at that. But I will tell you guys that, where's that? So I do focus on other cultures, and I try to, so I talk about style at a very high level oftentimes, but in my core wardrobe, which is one of the bonuses, for the guys to get through the blueprint. I get into, I mean, this is really deep. As you can tell, we get really deep, but I really focus on making it simple. But I talk about things like the Panama hat. You're not going to see it much in the United States, but this makes sense if you are in an area that you need to be able to, it's hot weather. It's actually going to keep you cooler. Now, the tweed jacket isn't going to work if you're in hot weather. However, there are other things, the safari coat. We talked about where I've got this is things in the core wardrobe. I'm looking for the why about that. I know I thought I talked about it in here. Chambray. Darn it, I thought I had the why about it in here. Sure somebody has seen it. So to go back, answer the question, it's in casual shirts. That's where it is. So I do talk about things like, for different cultures. In the United States, you see a lot of guys getting away with casual shirts. This is considered dressed up for many guys. But yeah, if you're going to be in the Mexican culture, it would be something that you could pull off, a why about it. And this is going to be a longer shirt, 4 pockets, usually made from linen or a very lightweight cotton. I really like them when they're made from linen. And my friends over at Diacord, they make them, and we've actually created some research or some articles on that. But I also talk about seersucker button downs for hot weather. I'm a big fan of things like the safari shirt, which is going to have pockets on the side, sometimes epaulets, the double breast pocket. Ones like this are really nice, but a Henley actually is going to be dressier than a straight up t-shirt. Now, it's still not very dressy, but I was just with my buddy Aaron Marino, and he's wearing this out with a jacket, and he's looking fine. He's able to pull off because he focuses on the fit. All right. And it really depends. This was a great question. And hopefully you guys know, I wish I could spend hours. Well, I don't know if I wish I could. I like to do many other things, but I am trying to go through this as quickly as possible. So I'm updating and checking for any questions. Hey, Marty, good to see you. This is a good question. I do have about 20 passive income streams, and I'll just go ahead and walk you guys through my website, give you a very, very quick overview of some of my passive income streams. Okay, so one of the ways is affiliate income, and I use various things from Amazon. Like if I go to brands I trust, some of these links, not all of them, I actually do get paid if you go over. For me, I look at I can't lose your trust. So I've really just got to put the best, but it is going to be something, like if I go to accessory retailers, let's go to grooming products. I need to put, I don't know if I have Pete and Pedro in here, my buddy Aaron Marino's company, but so Anson Belt and Buckle. I like their belts and buckles. I don't get any money from this, but I do recommend it. Black socks. I use their socks. I wear their socks, but I do get, if you notice over here, bottom left-hand corner, look at that. That is an affiliate link. And basically I will get a commission on that sale. Alexander Neckwear. Now, these guys, I don't get any money from them. The Dark Knot, I don't get any money. Rishi has actually sponsored me, and he came out to StyleCon. I hung out with Rishi. Rishi's a good friend. So I just linked to his company because it's a great company. Fine and Dandy, I've known those guys for a number of years. Kenton Sorensen, made in Wisconsin. I don't get any money. Maui Jim, I wear their, or actually I do, because Maui Jim I link to Amazon, and I'll get a 8% affiliate when I link to them. Now, I wear these sunglasses. So for me, I only recommend things that I'm going to buy. Other times I actually have, and we can get back over here. Let me see. Male attractiveness and aging. Where did I get it? So these pocket squares by Tissue, I do have them. Let me quickly show you guys. Stop. Okay, so Tissue, here you go. I mean, I use this stuff, and I'm proud to promote them. They're a great company. Let me see, where's that? There's, so you can see the brand. Yep, there's tissue right there. See that? Okay. So these guys all get a percentage of the sales. It's not usually too much. In their case, I think it's going to be anywhere. Well, I can't really reveal how much, but let's just say that I don't really make that much off it. It's something that I believe in the company. I like Marion. They're just a great Thomas and Marion. They're a great couple. I like their story. They got two beautiful kids. They're making a go. They're actually doing something unique. So I said, hey, I'll do this because I like your company. That's the number one thing. I've got to like or use the product. Every single product I do that for. I like and I use. Now, I've also got advertisers. So as you guys know, Paul Evans, but I've got 7 pairs of their shoes. Not only, I only brought 2 pairs of dress shoes with me for 2 weeks, and they're both Paul Evans. I've got the West, which I've talked about. You guys probably have seen this in my videos. And then I've got the Double Monk, which I've already pulled my leg up for you guys to check out. So I will get straight advertising fees from those guys whenever I put out content. Let me think. Dazzle Pro Teeth Whitening Company, I have an affiliate deal with. I have to get into. So that's, and I definitely could get into, let me see, I don't have everything laid out. I have a coaching program called High Speed Low Drag, which I'm going to go to right after this. And every month I receive a coaching fee with those gentlemen. I work with military veterans to help them transition out. I was just talking with one. She's starting a image consulting company, and she just had her first sale. So I'm really proud that I'm able to work with her. She left the Air Force a number of years ago, and she gets to, I don't do that with everybody, but it is something I make time for them. And I have an 8-week, basically bare bones MBA program. Tomorrow I fly back and I'm going to be judging at the University of Texas Venture Lab investment competition where I got my MBA and yada, yada, yada. For me, it's about, I would rather have 20 sources of income than one boss. And I've had one boss and I've been fired, and I would much rather, I like it because if something screws up, if Amazon decides to kill my affiliate program, well, guess what? I'll still get money from YouTube. I get money for YouTube ads. It's not a whole lot, but it pays for my videographer. And that videographer, if you notice, has been making amazing videos. So hopefully that answers the question. I probably, eventually I'll probably try to list it out more, and I'll be talking. I've actually created some videos of how I make money, but I'm still waiting to see if that's something you guys are interested in. But Marty, hey man, it's good to see you at StyleCon. And let me make sure to write him a note so you guys can see this. All right. It's so great to meet you, StyleCon. Okay, and I just talked with Aaron Marino, and we are going to do StyleCon again next year. And I will be announcing the date to the guys that attended and giving them an awesome deal on re-attending, because all of them told me they're going to come back. So I want to make sure that happens. All right. What can you say about dressing for college classes? I wear sports jackets, but it seems like really out of place in the classroom. Also, gets hot in Texas. Okay, well, Daniel, I would say, I talked about that a little bit with casual, but I'm going to say you're at an age you need to be experimenting. I would say just a sports jacket does not mean that you're dressing sharp. I've seen people wear jackets or suits, and they're wearing them like a costume because it doesn't fit them. I would say hot weather, there's nothing wrong with wearing, going with like a monochromatic look, but wear lighter weight fabrics, and you can still get away with long sleeve clothing. Wear lighter clothing that breathes, that is made from linen, made from a breathable cotton. Those are the things you want to look for. You can be stylish. You just play, work with your hair. That is a great way to instantly up your style. Look for things that make the clothing a bit different. Don't be afraid to take chances and take risks. But the key is to think about what image you're sending. And, from there, I've seen guys actually pull off vests and look great. And that's a lot more lightweight than the jacket. But don't think that just wearing a suit or wearing a sports jacket makes you dressed up. I think you could be more creative with that and find other ways. You'll want to go check out my friend Baron over at The Effortless Gent. Andy Snavely over at Primer Magazine. They've got some great content on that. And I'm going to reply. Answered. Video. All right. I recently looked into purchasing Chino pants. How do you think that Chino pants fit into the wardrobe? If men and how can okay, Chino pants, they're in the core wardrobe. Um, and you need to, have cargo pants, believe it or not, in the core wardrobe, but I talk about why and how. Let's see, where's chinos? Gray flannels. You guys are getting to see a lot of the stuff in here. Where are the chinos? Well, here, let me show you another part. I know whether I do talk about them in the formula. And guys, this is again a 21 item essential wardrobe. Again, this is in my personal image system, and the formula is the first part. And in here, I talk about, where's that? There. Essential trousers, khaki chinos. Now, you only need to choose 3, but chinos are often called khakis, and the word, there's a wide range, but basically chinos are going to be flat front. They're going to be made from a lightweight cotton, and they are casual. They're just above jeans, although some jeans can be, because they're darker color and depending on the build, they actually can be dressier than chinos or khaki. But it is something that I always treat them very casual. And you can try to dress them up, but it's like a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. You can maybe wear it with a casual sports jacket, but when you try to really dress it up a bit, it's going to be hard. I've seen this done like with bright colored chinos, maybe like red chinos. People will wear them with a blazer, but they're never going to be at the level of anytime you really want to look good, especially at night, don't wear light colored chinos. They're more of a day and they definitely are casual. All right, just answered. At what age should a man get his first custom suit? Well, I've talked about this actually in a video if you type that into YouTube. And my quick question is, I think you should actually, a man needs to go through and he needs to learn. You could be 18 years old, and if you've been wearing suits since you were 12 and you really appreciate custom suits and you understand what goes into it, then go for it. But I really think custom suits, bespoke suits, at an early age, they should probably be reserved for men who are very, very hard to fit. So if you're 18 years old and you're 6'8", probably then custom is going to work for you just because you're hard to fit. But for most of us at that age, you've got the best body you're ever going to have. You can fit into a lot of things off the rack. And why would you spend the extra money? I say this as a clothier, as someone that has owned clothing companies. And for me as a young man, your body's still growing till you're about 21, 22. You're going to fill out over mid your 20s. And I would say save the money, save the effort, and focus in on off the rack, or I'm sorry, off the rack clothing. I think you could get it adjusted and go to thrift stores, really learn and break away from the stuff out there. Okay, so hopefully that answered the question. Let's see. Yep. Yep. Of course you will. My style system members get lifetime. Of course you will. I take care of my TSS grants. All right, like I said, guys, if you have graduated from my style system, you're going to get access to the personal image system when it goes live here in about 2 weeks. If you haven't, if you've bought maybe a Man's Guide to Style, or you grab my book on Amazon, or any of the other programs I've got out there, it is something that I'm going to be offering a really steep discount. If you decide, then that discount is going to be larger than what you paid for any of my other programs. But it is something that, the formula, the blueprint, the league, the course, and the coaching, 5 parts, all of the system. The formula is simplicity, the blueprint, deep information, the personal image league is community, the personal image course is going to be live training, and then the personal image coaching one-on-one if that's what you want. Okay, so let me get back to your questions. All right, let's see what we got here. Drink a little bit of coffee. Which I admit I don't drink much. I rarely ever drink coffee past noon, but with time zone changes and so many things going on. And I've got a friend, his name's good friend of mine named Ali. I went to undergrad with, and he's here in Atlanta, and we're going to go out to dinner here in about 2 hours. All right, we got a few more questions. And I've got Philippe, and he's saying, hey, Antonio, I live in Brazil, Rio de Janeiro. I was just talking about Brazil earlier. A good friend of mine, he's telling me I need to get my butt down there. And I think I was just saying I'm looking to relocate to live. I want to live in a country where I don't speak the language and where my kids can get a great education, high quality of life. So if any of you guys know any places, make sure to email me and let me know. But I want to go someplace where I can just spend more time with my family, and I want to put myself in an uncomfortable situation of where I need to be learning a new language, because I feel I haven't done that for a long time. I've gotten very comfortable, and I do feel that as men, we need to push ourselves. Because if you're not a little bit, on the edge, I think that's unhealthy for us after a while. So it's extremely hot all over the year. How can I dress sharp in these conditions? All right, that's a great question. And one, I'm going to say, you know what? You need to be following a Brazilian, and his name is Alberto Salon. So contact my friend Alberto, and let me go ahead and show you. He's the club style. I think you're gonna. He's a little bit older, but he has a lot. The thing is this man understands Brazilian style. He is Brazilian through and through. I want you to check out my friend. Where is he? I'm site down. All right, Antonio, I'm curious if you will explain the use of different vent types on jackets. Oh, this is a good one. Is anything other than the center is necessary? Is it just arbitrary? Okay, Chris. So it's a good question. He's asking about vents: double vent, single vent, no vent. Usually three styles. There's a few others, but I'm not going to get into that here. Those are like just crazy styles. No vent. Rarely seen, and the reason it's probably the least desirable unless you're in great shape, or you need a jacket that is going to be really formal and kind of tuck it in. But that's what it does. And this doesn't give you much room. But when you put your hands in your pockets and you've got no vents, all of a sudden the jacket's going to really rumple up. It's a very tight look. I do have one or two jackets with this, but I'm not going to recommend it for most men. You will see it on some fashion Italian suits or some really high level, like maybe black tie occasionally, but it's not something that is going to be practical for most men or body types. Now let's go to the most common, which is going to be the single vent. The single vent is going to be most common because it's the least expensive to manufacture. That's why. So it's not like it's really the best for us. It's simply it's cheap. And because of that, you're going to see it on a lot of off-the-rack suits and all those deals. So if you see an off-the-rack suit and it's got a double vent, that's a good sign because it's a little bit more expensive to make, but it's going to be the most flattering because what it does is it allows, when you put your hand in your pocket, you still cover your backside. With the single vent, when you put your hand in your pocket, the back opens up. If you're actually moving forward and putting a lot of action, the back will open up. Basically, this just allows the jacket to fit around the buttocks. But if you've got a prominent buttocks and you don't have a whole lot of waist suppression, the double vent is going to do much better, pretty much for any body type. I always recommend, especially if you're getting some custom, go with the double vent. It's going to be more expensive to manufacture. If not cut right, or if it doesn't hang right, there could be issues. However, if tailored right, this is going to be optimal vent style. Make sense? Okay. And go check out Alan Flesser's book. I've also go check out Brett Mckay's Art of Manliness. He's got that, I think, in some of his posts. Who else writes about that? Raphael Schneider for the Gentleman's Gazette. He's going to go into a lot of detail there. And maybe a little bit of Barron over at the Effortless Gen, I think, talks about it as well. All right. And I just replied to him. And thank you, Chris, for the great question. Okay, so Jonathan is asking me, Antonio, what would you suggest about dressing sharp in a place where one might experience some ridicule or sideways looks for doing so? It's a great question, and it's oftentimes so when again, and I'll go ahead and I'm going to pull this because I talked about it in my style system. Actually, I talked about my blueprint, personal image blueprint, which again, all of these, the formula, the blueprint, the league, the course, and the coaching are all within the personal image system. So understanding your why. There's a really smart guy. His name is Simon Sinek. And let me show you the worksheet. So this is something I'll have the guys in my program go through, and they've got to understand their why. So let me show this to you. And hopefully you can see this. So understanding your why. So a lot of times we do things and we start with what, then we go to how, and then we figure out like, why are we doing this? And this is a good example would be our careers. Oftentimes you're a kid, your family tells you to be a doctor, you think doctors make good money, so you start going to med school, you know what you're going to do, you know how to go, you're going to go to medical college, you're going to go do your undergrad, go to medical college, do your internship. And then when you're 30 years old, you're a doctor and you begin to ask the question, why am I a doctor? And you realize, I didn't want to be a doctor. Yeah, I know there's someone watching this, that this is the story of their life. And it's frustrating. Or you're a lawyer, or you're an engineer, and you're asking yourself, everyone told me to be an engineer. I knew engineers made good money. I knew I would always have a job, but you know what? I never wanted to be an engineer. Now, and I'll explain why this is relevant to the question here in a second. Because when you start with the inside and you move out, remarkable things happen. So really, that's important. Inside out creates remarkable. Why, how, to what? And so if you understand why you're dressing sharp, and I'll tell you, then the how to do this and the what follow, and you have the strength to basically ignore. So the question again is, how do you deal with ridicule? How do you deal with it, being in a world that isn't as formal as you? Let me go ahead. I'm going to look you guys in the face. Stop. So here's the deal. When I dress sharp, I don't dress sharp for those people that don't understand. I don't dress sharp for those people that have given up on life. I don't dress sharp for those people that don't understand that I'm trying to make a better world and that I'm trying to be the man I know myself to be. I dress sharp because I represent myself. I dress sharp because I represent my family. I dress sharp because I represent my company. I dress sharp because I know there is a psychological effect in the way I see the way people treat me, why I'm called sir, how I don't wait in lines, how immediately, I was just in Vegas the other day for a conference, and I'm in line looking good. I'm the only guy wearing a jacket. There's probably 100 people in line. And guess what? Guy comes over, grabs me, brings me to the VIP room. You know why he did that? Not that I was a VIP. I actually just had a regular room. But he wanted to send a message to everybody else that this is the way they like people to look, that they see a well-dressed man. It's like, they've got some, it's just a show. And he assumed that, this guy's looking nice. I bet if I give him this, if I treat him good, he'll probably spend more money. He'll probably come in, there's a reason for this. And that's just the way it affects others. I dress sharp because it makes me feel good. I mean, earlier today, I'm lounging around in my athletic gear. We had a great conference over at Men's StyleCon, and I was just tired. But the way I act and the way I behave when I'm dressed sharp is different. It's called enclothed cognition. They've talked about this at Northwestern University. And if you dressed up as a clown, are you going to be able to take yourself seriously? If you dress as a professional, you will take yourself more seriously. So it's something that starts with the inside, Jonathan. It's not something that, I mean, and it does happen. Some people are going to not get it. They're going to maybe snicker. They're going to, but you know what's funny is most people, if you walk with confidence and if you really want, you become, it becomes who you are. It's not a costume anymore. It's who you are. And they don't really have an issue with it. Raphael Schneider at the Gentleman's Gazette just sent me an email. In fact, if you're not on his email list, you should. He's really good. But he talks about how he just was at the airport and he had a guy start to speak with him who wouldn't have spoken, basically said nice shoes and talked to him about. And it turns out that that gentleman's husband is on Raphael's email list. And this guy was a high-level executive. And all of a sudden, he has a meeting tomorrow with, this guy about, something for their business. This wouldn't have happened if he hadn't looked the part of a successful person. Because, people say that they dress away because it's who they are. I'm a t-shirt and jeans kind of guy. That's a bunch of BS. They've never really thought about what kind of guy they are. They're just dressing like everybody else. Just look around. Everyone else is wearing t-shirt and jeans and running shoes. It doesn't mean, you're not being yourself. You're simply haven't taken the time to figure out who you are. Make sense, man? Okay. So that was, I'm getting off my, I know sometimes I respond quite a bit. I've got a lot, just responded in the video, sir. All right. No, I misspelled the. Oh, well. All right. All right, I've only got about 10 to 15 minutes. I'll have been on about an hour or about 45 minutes already. All right, we got some great questions. Wow, a lot of questions. I'm gonna have to zip through these. Okay, Antonio, can I get away with wearing a long sleeve t-shirt with suspenders and a sport coat? Long sleeve t-shirt with suspenders and sport. It would depend on the quality of the fabric. I would say if it's a little bit stylish, but I would say why do that? Go for something collared. Because if you try to, I would have to see the shirt. I've seen people do this with a Henley, and it gives a little bit more of a fun, casual look. But Mark, it's going to also matter how old you are. As we get older, it is something that it's harder to get away with the young man styles and pushing the envelope and mix it. But it's going to be more of a fashionable look if you do that. So if you're more conservative, I would stick with collared shirts. Ray Pride is asking me, Antonio, you are awesome, my friend. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I first found you for your video of speaking in front of others. That really helped. Would it be okay to wear a blazer or sports jacket for a formal or semi-formal situation? No, because there are rules to formal situation. And again, I'm going straight up. Go ahead and type in and you should get my my guide to dress codes. But if it's a formal, if it is really a formal, that is basically formal is going to be white tie, sometimes interpreted as black tie. Semi-formal is going to be business attire. Casual or business casual, then you could pull this off. But you don't want to underdress, especially if a dress code is given. Does that make sense? And good question, Ray. Greetings, Antonio. I'm an image consultant in LA, and for the most of my clients, I talk about looking like what you do and looking like the price point you charge. I love that. You need to look like the price point you charge, because think about that. If you had someone show up to clean your car and they've got an all ratty t-shirt and they bring a little bottle of water, like, hey man, can I clean your car? What are you going to pay them? $5, $10, but actually you'd be worried because they may make your car dirtier versus someone that looks great, has a uniform, is very attentive service, gives you a glass of water when you get out of the car. What are you going to pay for them cleaning your car? I know in Austin, Texas, those guys would charge $100 and they call it detailing. Yeah, change the wording and charge 10 times as much. I am trying to get them to understand that if you do not look like you can afford services, you're probably not looking business. What type of slacks would you recommend for an upscale beach lifestyle that is very laid back? What type of slacks would you recommend? It's a very specific question, Kat. Feel free to email me at antonio@realmenrealstyle.com, and you can give me a little bit more details, but I'm going to say go for something that fits the atmosphere. So I'm going to go for linens. I'm going to go for lightweight cottons. I'm going to go for maybe a tropical weight wool And depending on his body type, you could go with flat front or something pleated. But I would go for a lighter color, especially during the day. If it goes into the evening, then you could wear a medium. But don't jeans aren't really going to work. Don't. Yeah, I'm sure you know this. But I would focus in on the fabric, because the fabric that drapes really well is going to probably work out for this. All right. Hey, Antonio, I live in Morocco and it gets pretty hot here in the summer, so I started sweating too much without even doing a thing. What are your suggestions for me? Thanks. Nabil, you want to wear clothing that's breathable and focus in on the quality of the fabric, but also the weave of the fabric. And I've spent some time in what is it, Kuwait and Iraq, and also where is it, Dubai? I mean, and where else was it, Djibouti? So I can tell you, it gets really hot in that parts of the world, and you want to wear. I mean, but I was amazed by the locals. I mean, they're wearing lighter colored fabrics, but they're covering their skin, and it is something that they want, things that drape and move. Sweat is going to naturally evaporate and come off, but it is going to be something you want to be able to allow air to move under, but you want to keep the sun off. I really like lighter weight weaves, like something like this. I would not wear, because I mean, just the dark is going to bring, basically it's going to get hotter versus reflecting off the light or the heat. Hey, Antonio, I've got a question. I have several shirts that are built from casual wear ties that just won't work, but this shirt material won't hold up. The collars, as a result of the collars are flopping down. Shirt material won't hold the collar. Okay, you need to get magnetic collar stays. There's a company called Working Stiffs. I've also done a link, and I link you over to Amazon, and I show you what magnets you can buy and what regular metal links. So Working Stiffs is going to charge you a lot more than what I recommend. However, if you're going to give Working Stiffs as a gift, it's a great buy. Again, let me see if I can find the article. Really quick, try to type that in for you. All right, magnetic collar stays. I hate it when my computer runs slow. It's doing all this video. So to run, the whole thing runs a lot slower. Wow, things are coming in quick. All right, guys. Hopefully this helps. Just answered the video. And really quick, if you guys are checking this out, what you'll want to do is just answered video. No, I misspelled that. You guys, do you know I'm a horrible typer? I think I've told you guys I am really bad at typing. Okay. And thank you for being here. If you're on here live, I really appreciate it. I try to just finished up my men's style con, and I had a bit of time, so I was like, hey, I want to reach out. I haven't done one of these for a year, and I don't do them all the time. With 4 young kids, my time is just really valuable. And not saying it's not valuable spending it with you all, but as you can imagine, it's not scalable, and it's something I really don't do one-on-one consulting anymore. I am going to have that again in my my new program, but it's something that I'm going to try to. I was just talking with Aaron Marino about this at our next StyleCon next year. We may actually have a full day in which we're going to allow 10 guys to come out and spend a full day with me and Aaron, and we'll take you around Atlanta. We'll get a bus, and we'll just have fun and take you to different stores and work with you on your image presentation and have a workshop before we begin our 3-day men's StyleCon event. But we'll see how that pops up. And let me go ahead and really quick, I'll show you guys some of the questions I'm answering, because I know you guys maybe want to see that. And I've got, it looks like about 10 minutes, maybe less than 10 minutes. I'm going to have to head out of here. Okay, Victor, and again, I'm going in the order of the questions asked. So if I do this again, you definitely wanted to be here early. Hello, do you have a tip for men in their late teens who already grow quite a lot of gray hair? Also, Argentina always gets you out of your comfort zone. Hey, Victor, I really appreciate it that you're out there. And okay, so I would recommend at this point, that's there are some dyeing solutions out there, but the thing is, once you start to dye, you're going to have to stay up with it. You could get that professionally done, but that may cost you. Victor, I don't know exactly where you're at, but I would say don't be afraid to embrace it. The thing with gray hair is it actually brings in a lot of different options. I've got a number of friends that have a salt and pepper look, and some of them are in their 20s and 30s, and they've just embraced it. And it actually allows, they can actually, as their hair grays, they get to start to wear softer colors as well, which actually, but I would say, unless you're going to color, I would say just run with it and don't be afraid of it. But one thing that you can do is actually wear a shorter haircut. And you can also have more fun with your hair. So if you are feeling unconfident, like you've got that stuff in your hair, again, go check out my friend Aaron Marino. He's done a lot of videos on hair, and he's got a great hair product called Pete and Pedro. I've been using it for quite a while now, and I'm very happy with all the different variations. But own that hair, and no one's going to question. I mean, as a man, I have to say, getting older actually, up to I think it's for late 30s to early 40s, you're still at least perception wise, you still have a lot of sexual prowess, and you also will gain a lot of respect. So look at it in gorillas, graybacks. What is that? It's a sign of respect, a sign that gorilla is at a certain status point. So don't be afraid of it. Own it. How to look good on a budget for a high school. Okay, Andrew, I talked about this a little bit. I've got 10 style tips for young men. I'm going to say thrift stores, man. You really need to experiment at this point, and don't go out there and buy anything full retail. Save your money. Focus in on experimentation and learning. I'm just going to say, thrift stores there. Okay. Hey, Antonio, two questions for you. I would like to know, how many sports jackets do I need? Okay, so I can't give you an exact number because it depends on what your professional needs are, where you live, yada, 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 what you like. You're a minister. Okay, you told me a little bit, Ron. I guess I should have read this before I try to give advice. I like to dress nice on the weekends beside. So in this case, I would say, owning 7 sports jackets isn't a problem. I mean, the thing is, if you don't have the money for it, or you're really low, I mean, most ministers, there was some guy here in Georgia, some minister that's trying to get his flock to, and I mean this is a joke. So he's trying to get them to buy a $68 or $70 million jet. I assume you're not that guy. So I personally, for the longest time, only had 3 sports jackets. You guys wonder why does Antonio wear the same jackets again and again? I don't have that many. Now, here in Atlanta, me and my friend Aaron Marino, we went out. I bought 2 more suits, another sports jacket. I want to buy like 2 more. I would say now I'm in a position but you can get away with owning very few pieces of clothing, but keep the colors solid, simple, and make sure for the weather conditions, they're the right weight of fabric. I have a sleek pair. How many loafers do I need? Again, depends on how often you wear them. I would say I would actually look to have more pairs of shoes than jackets. Shoes you like to be able to rotate. They're going to be a little bit more memorable, especially when they're nice, but I would keep it simple. Allen Edmonds is a great company. Allen Edmonds, Paul Evans. Who else do we have? That's a great company. Can't really think, right? I'm kind of getting a little bit brain dead here. It's getting near the end of my hour, so. Kenneth, thanks. Always good to see you, man. Yeah. Kenneth writes me all the time. All right, Zach, you're kind of like, I keep both shoes versus penny loafers. I'd say both, man. You don't, why make a decision between them? So my friend, gosh, I'm going to go ahead and, one of the gifts I've got when you graduate out of my formula is that you get my list of product recommendations. Let me look at some of got a few companies in here. So shoes. Let me see, who am I recommending? Casual shoes. Check out Jay Butler. A friend of mine runs that company. Paul Evans, of course, Allen Edmonds. You're going to want to also look at, we've got Sperry, Zappos usually has a pretty good line. I mean, well, they've got a wide range. Converse, DSW. Um, lower end, you can look at Johnson and Murphy, but you know, if you can afford higher, I do like it when you guys upgrade there. Oh, I am? Okay, try to. We've got Sperry. Zappos usually has a pretty good line. I mean, well, they've got a wide range. Converse, DSW. Okay, so I'm getting a few questions in there. Share. Let's see if comments. All right. Okay. So what? I've got 96 thumbs up. I've got 6 thumbs down. Why do people? It's like, what did I do? That's the funny thing about the web. Let me show you guys. Maybe you want to help me get this changed. Hint, hint. Come over and show you guys my screen. Why do people dislike? They don't like it when I'm giving out free solid information. Come on, I'm just having fun here. I don't know. It's I try not. Haters are gonna hate, but it does bother me at times. And I don't know. The comments aren't loading for me. Sorry guys. It's I have a lot of fun with it with my YouTube channel, and it's something I'm proud of. I'm really excited that you guys have been a part of this journey. I mean, God, look at this, almost 20 million views, 277,000 subscribers. YouTube is a very interesting animal. I never forget the fact, for anyone that has a YouTube channel, remember, you don't own it. YouTube owns this. But that's why I always try to get you guys to go check out Real Men Real Style. I'm really proud of what I'm doing over here. I mean, the infographics I found. Oh, we've got an app coming out. So really had a meeting yesterday with my app developer here in Atlanta. And this thing is going to be really cool. But cufflinks, rings and finger symbolism, the difference between suit, blazer, sports jacket, how to properly wear suspenders, 11 ways to tie a scarf. Really having fun with this. But I wonder if it'll pop up here. Let's see. Can I see any comments? Doesn't look like I can see comments. And let's see. Can't see. All right. So let's see. Jeff Green, I agree with the comment about looking like your price point. I'm a real estate consultant and always make sure I wear a suit and tie whenever I'm asking someone for money. Yeah. And make sure to wear a little bit of red. You'll persuade them a bit. Remember that? I just did that video in that article. Okay. So let's go over to, I'm just about done here. So stop. I'm not the fastest guy when it comes to tech. Oh, wow. Got some more questions. I'll try to answer these. This is probably going to be it, guys. I got to go to another meeting here soon. And breathe, Jeff. It was good to see you. Quick. If you could choose 2 blazers, which ones and what color? Just a quick question and answer. By the way, love your videos. Keep them up. Help me a lot. Okay, Nick. Good question. I'd go with a navy blue as play the second one. I like lighter blues. And again, we're talking blazers. So blazers, if you remember, blazer, sports jacket, suits. I would maybe go with one that's more casual. I would go with a formal blazer in navy blue, and I would go with a more casual blazer and maybe a hop sack that is a lighter blue or a kind of almost like more of a true blue. And that one I could wear during the day. It's going to have patch pockets on it. My more formal blazer may actually use silver, although most my blazer usually see mother of pearl buttons. What else do we have on there? Yeah, and the pockets are going to be a typical breast pocket like we would see on a suit, along with a regular slip pocket or losing my mind. Regular pockets like we would see on a suit. So not the patch or the covered patch. And just replied. I probably should have put this in here, but I didn't even think about it. Info and settings. All right, I wonder if I can actually save this. No, it's not letting me. I should have probably saved this earlier. Okay. Antonio, greetings from Hurst, Texas. Hey, Joe, greetings to you too. I used to be able to kill black attire, having black hair and lightly tanned skin, but I feel that it passed since age 50. You're exactly right, Joe. When your hair changes, look at Fred Astaire. When his hair changed, he started being able to wear softer colors, which is not a bad thing. You can start to wear and pull off a lot of gray. There's nothing wrong with that. I do wear a midnight navy police uniform in my profession, but I'm concerned the darker stuff may no longer be my best option. Should I seek other colors? Yes, you should. Start to look for lighter shades. This may be something where you're actually, the thing with a darker color is it can, especially if you've got lighter color skin, it can pull color out of your skin. And all of a sudden it can actually make you look older than you truly are. So do try to wear lighter colors. Have fun with this. A lot of this is part of change and life. And almost like seasons, use this to your advantage and have fun with it, Joe. All right, just replied, sir. And, all right, here we go. The advice you gave about jacket vents, does that apply to simple blazers and sports jackets too, or just suit jackets? Chris, it applies to all jackets in general. You're going to hear, I mean, it comes down to schools of thought. You got sack suits, Italian suits, although they say the Italian school, the American school, or the European school and the English school. However, a lot of these tailors, they end up going to school in France, they'll move to the United States, but they'll end up settling over in London and getting a job on Savile Row. So who is this guy? He knows all the different styles. It really comes down to body type and focusing on that. If you've got a great body type and your suit fits you well and it's custom, you could go with no vent. However, if you have a chance to buy something off the rack and it looks really good, you want to try to go with the double vent. However, if you get a great deal on a single vent, I'm not going to go for it. You're going to have to, that's why I don't like giving straight up answers. I like giving you the tools to be able to make a decision in any way that you face a problem so that you can figure out, because everyone is going to have a different path to follow. Hey, Antonio, I'm 20 years old. In Finland, I ordered tailored suit. Which color is dark blue? I have these dark shoes. Can I use these purple shoelaces if they match the shirt? I'm planning to wear a suit and casual. Okay, Alexi. And your question is, yeah, you could wear this. I mean, and blue. Oh, dark blue. You have these dark shoes. So dark blue with the black derbies. You could. I prefer dark brown with dark blue suits, but you can pull off black. It's especially drawing a little bit of attention to the shoe. You can pull it off. I'm going to say, there's those that say you shouldn't, but honestly, you'll be able to pull it off like you're a young man if you wear it with confidence, especially with purple shoelaces. But I would invest in some other shoelaces that are less a little bit attention grabbing. I think my friend Baron over at the Effortless Chat wrote about this. So go type into the search engines, get it to pop up. And those Ted Baker, they've got purple soles as well, which is fine. But I would also have other shoelaces and actually feel free to tone them down at times. Okay, guys, that is it. I'm sorry, I got to go. I've got to go work with veterans as they transition out of the military and get their businesses up off the ground. If you want to learn more, don't forget, guys, I've got that. Click here to learn more about the personal image system. Let me see, that's going to be on the page there, and I'll link over to it. Thank you for coming out. I'll over the next maybe 24 to 48 hours, try to get to some of the questions that have been asked over here on our live page. We'll do this again some point in the future. But if you want to go click here to learn more about the personal image system, I will be launching that soon. And I'm really excited about this, where I was giving you guys an inside look there. I've got, yeah, this is going to be friggin' amazing. I'm excited about this thing. But you've got to be on the early bird list to be able to get in. And I will be giving, let's just say, a pretty, like a 90% discount for the group I wanted. Now I'm going to limit the number of people I can give that to, and I'm going to really just, it's going to be open to close. That's why you want to be on that email list, because I just need some people to go through it and give me some feedback. I tested it out with over 100 people already, but I want to hear from people who haven't gone through some of my courses and programs. And I'm really excited about this. All right, take care. Thank you again for all the support, for coming out, and for being a part of what we've got here. So that's it, and take care.